Recorded Books and RB Digital present Secrets of Southern Girls by Haley Harrigan, narrated by Jeanine Bartel, with Liv Anderson as Reba.
Prologue. She only has lovers in wintertime. In summer, the days stretch long like lazy animals, and the sun's rays reach like warm fingers down between buildings and slide across her face and arms. It's harder, then, to think of dark things. But winter in New York is suffocating, and it is all she can do to breathe, to take in the icy air through her nose and mouth, to taste the cold on her tongue as it slips in and leaves her insides frostbitten and numb. It is all she can do to survive. Even Beck must feel it, or something similar, because those little smiles stretch smaller and fade faster. Maybe it is the skin in summertime. She can see it, everywhere, when warm weather finally, mercifully arrives, the skirts swishing and swaying around bare legs like a tribe of dancers, the bright exposed toes peeking jubilant from stylish sandals. Walking to the subway, how easy it might be to brush a hand, light as a kiss, against the arm of another. A common electric accident, when so much skin is on parade. That can't happen in the cold, bundled tightly in her scarf and parka. She is alone, insulated. In wintertime, she doesn't linger in the streets, doesn't stop to look in windows, rarely tastes the lacy snowflakes that fall feathery against her dry lips. She scurries along to her destination, a sheet of loose-leaf paper propelled forward by the wind. Or maybe it's the city itself in winter, the way the buildings take on new shapes, imposing and dangerous as dark strangers, the structures climbing upward and leaning down at the same time, peering at her through glass windows like 1,000 scrutinizing eyes. When cold weather ends, she pretends those nights never happened, those lovers and their bodies and the touch of their hands, and the time she spent with them all fade away like bad dreams. The sharp edges blur in her mind, as last night becomes last week and last month. When she sees those men afterward, her cheeks tingle with embarrassment, and she makes up excuses when they try to see her again. She knows Brighton sometimes sees the early flirtation, the exchanging of names and numbers. Still, she doesn't talk about it with anyone. It's her own secret need, her own secret weakness. She is careful in the ways that count. It isn't a game, although she has been with men who believe otherwise, men who think she's playing hard to get. Some send flowers, some call the next day just to say hello, as though a simple word can bridge the distance between them. One man spent every night for a month in her bed. January, or she wouldn't have allowed it, until she finally stopped returning his calls, stopped letting him in. He thought she was simply a challenge, conquerable. The men aren't strangers. She meets them in acting classes, at the yoga studio, through friends of friends. Most of the time they come to her home, the tiny Grove Street apartment that she and Beck share. She lets them in late, long after she has tucked her daughter into the cushiony pink softness of her comforter. Although some nights Beck is with her father, and the room sits empty. She makes the men tiptoe past the closed door of Beck's bedroom and leave before sunrise. But Beck has never been the kind of child to come searching for her in the night. She pours wine. She lights candles in her dark room. Sometimes she and her guests talk quietly for hours. On those nights, she fills and refills her wine glass until she can talk freely, but remember little. She tells lie after lie when he asks her questions. Better, so much better, when things don't get too personal. Sometimes there is no talking at all. Those nights are easier. On those nights, she drinks very...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?